going. All right. Good. All right. So let's begin today. We'll begin on our mats here. Roll yourself all the way down. We're just going to grab your knees, pull into the chest. As you do, allow the pelvis to peel up off of the floor and release. And again, you're going to peel up and release. Good. We'll do that 2 more times. Just kind of opening up the outside joints here. And good. 1 more time. And good. You're going to release the legs. Allow your feet to float back down to the floor. Just find the sides of your mat. And then we're just windshield wiper the knees back and forth. Okay. Draw your attention to your lower back on the mat as you go from one side to the other. And we're just going to feel that going against the back there. The next time you get over to your left side, you're going to just drop both knees here. And then extend both arms up overhead, reaching up as far as you can overhead. All right, so straight arms reaching all the way up. You feel a nice open stretch through the ribs on the right here. And drive your right knee down toward the floor on the left side, tightening up your glutes on the right. And just open up that front body, reaching up here. And good, we'll release. And bring the knees back in. Bring your arms down momentarily. And then windshield wiper those knees over to the right. And reaching up overhead again. And as we're here, we're just going to start to tighten up that glute on the left. And drive that left knee down toward the right side. Reaching up overhead, maybe a little bit more with that left arm. And good, we'll come all the way back onto center, bringing both arms down. Good. You're coming up onto your toes, heels are up off the floor. Just kind of roll up onto just that one big point on your big toe, opening up the ligaments on front of your ankles. And then drop down through your heels, pick up your toes, driving down through your heels. You're going to rock through your foot. Open up the ligaments across the front of the ankle. And then roll back down through your foot. Drive the heels down, toes come up. Good, we'll do that 1 more time. All the way up. And then roll through the foot, heels come down. And pulling all the way up through those toes. Good, we'll relax the feet. Draw your right knee up and in and extend that left leg all the way down. So we're opening up your hip flexor on that left side, and then we're opening up your hamstring and your glute a little bit on the right. Pulling that knee in toward your chest, and then use your left hand to draw that over to the left side. I just got a dog toy dropped on my mouth if you were wondering why that got muffled momentarily. And just dropping that knee over into a supine twist. So we're using that left arm to pull that right knee down to the floor. And then we're going to go ahead and extend this top leg all the way out. Pressing through the heel, pulling your toes to you. And my left arm is just still kind of pulling that knee or that leg down toward the floor a little bit. If you pull it into you a little, we're going to get that hip rotation a little bit more to open up your lower back. You're going to reach out as far as you can with that right hand, and then maybe even send your eyes over to look for that right hand here so we get a full twist through the spine. Staying here, you're just going to kind of rake your hands from your hip all the way down to your knee. So as we rake through the IC band with our little rakes with the hands, the fingers there, if you find an area that feels tender, like you're going to try to press down as hard as you can with this rake, and if you find an area that's a little tender, maybe just kind of go back and forth over it, like 1 inch back and forth, kind of just kind of combing out those fibers across the fibers, right? And then maybe go back down to that search and destroy mission all the way from the hip down to outside the knee. Okay, maybe you found another one. and just go back and forth over that area again. Good, so I'll give you another 10 or 15 seconds to just kind of go through that IT band, see if you find anything else, if you need to just get in there a little bit. And then you're going to take that left hand and support underneath that right knee, bend it, and we're going to bring that onto your back again. Bring your left knee up and send the right leg all the way down. So now we're going to open up that right hip, and then just pull that left knee in toward the chest. You're opening up your glute, your hamstring there on the left side. So I noticed like as I did that, my right hip kind of popped up a little bit. Right. So I'm just going to be a little bit more mindful to try to get that flattened out and reaching a little bit more with my right toe, nice and long, and keep that hip open there. Use my right hand to guide that left knee across the body onto the right, and send my left arm out long here. So you're just going to let it settle in here, twisting through that spine. A lot of times these hip capsule muscles here, it's kind of like I call it like a rotary. You know, some of those are tight for me today. So we'll let that settle in. And then we'll go ahead and stretch that leg all the way out. Push through the heel and pull the toes to you. And again, just using that right arm to add a little bit of weight and direction, pulling that hip in a little bit more for the body. And then we're going to start that race with the right hand, just seeing if we can go down the side there, looking for anything. You know, the first couple of passes, I'm always like, oh, it doesn't really hurt today, but it's really because it just got to almost like kind of open up the top layers of the muscle, right? Get some blood flow in there, and then all of a sudden it kind of opens up, and I can feel some tender areas a little bit deeper in that area. So sometimes first couple of passes, just kind of warming it up, opening it so that you can get into the muscle a little bit more deeply. So do those passes, right? And then if you find an area, again, you're back and forth across those fibers. And then you can go back to that, like search areas. If it was here, and search. All right, we're going to just take that another 10 or 15 seconds there, find that, and good. I can look over again, see if you can find those fingertips on the left, get that full pivot through your spine. And then we'll take that right hand under the left knee, bring yourself all the way back onto your back. We'll draw the left knee up, and then again, the right knee up here. Straighten myself out a little bit. So as I pull those knees in, I'm going to like let them drop open and bring my arms onto the inside here so that I can use my forearms to just kind of push them out a little bit and open up the adductors of the inner thigh. I'm going to rock over to the right side a little bit, and as I do, just give a little extra pressure with my right hand. For my like my right hand and my right forearm to open up that hip just a little bit more. And then I'll come all the way back to neutral and then rock over to the left. Same thing, a little bit extra, pressing with that left hand and the left arm, opening up that adductor, and then we'll come all the way back to neutral, grab those knees, parallel out the thighs. Here I'm going to extend both legs all the way up into the air. And just place your hands right on your low belly, elbows on the floor if you can. So we want to try to get a nice straight joint here, so we're making that L. We'll make this shape later, like with the floor underneath us. But here, we're up toward the ceiling, legs up the wall, working to get a nice straight knee joint here, pressing your heels up toward the ceiling, and almost try to imagine that your feet are standing on the ceiling. So check the feet to see, you know, sometimes if there's like lower leg imbalances or tightnesses, you might see one foot kind of turning out or everting, like your pinky toe rolling under, you know, this way kind of thing. So we want to try to just get those soles of the feet up to the ceiling here. And from here, we're gonna press your pelvis down into the floor. So as your hands are here, you might feel those muscles low in the abdomen kind of tighten up. That's what we want. And then simultaneously, see if you can press both shoulders down into the ground. So you have a lot going on. You're reaching up with your heels, you're pressing down with your pelvis, and you're pressing down with those shoulders. So the core is engaged. We're holding those legs up and stretching out the legs. We're holding it here. Good. Pressing down for another 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax your feet down to 90 degrees here. Imagine that you have a yoga block or something in between those knees, and you're going to take your arms out to a T. You're going to just kind of roll your knees over to the left like we did, but try not to let them come to each other. Just continue to imagine that block, and then you're going to come all the way back to your center, and then we'll repeat that over to the right. So we're just using some of those oblique, internal and external muscles, and you're going to go and take 3 to each side. So go as slowly as you need to go here, and try not to push down with your arms, right? So we can always kind of like brace ourselves with the arms and kind of spot the obliques here, which is fine. Spot as you need, right? If you can't get through that exercise and you want to use your arms, that's great. Try to just do it a little bit less over time. Good. And good. Once you've done 3 on each side, we're going to come all the way back into neutral here, dropping both feet all the way down. Bring the soles of your feet together here. Allow your knees to drop up, and you're going to reach both arms up overhead or come into cactus, whichever feels most comfortable for you. Really what we want to do is just kind of open up your chest a little bit and engage your upper body here. So you might find that your spine kind of comes up off of the floor a little bit here when you open up those knees, right? Those are connected. They don't seem like they are, but the inner thigh and the lower back kind of wrap underneath, right? So when our knees drop open, we're going to work to press your low back into your mat here. You might see your knees come up a little bit. That's okay. So keep that back pressing into the ground. And we're just going to allow gravity to open up those knees. We're here for another 3, 2, and 1. Because you're going to snow angel the arms down and around, closing your knees like a book. And then just roll yourself over to one side. And we're going to press ourselves up into our tabletop posture here. All right. So in tabletop posture here, you want to have your shoulder right over your wrist, and your knees right underneath your hip here. So we're just going to do a little bit more core here. Just focus on the posture. So a gentle bend in your elbow, and you kind of want to show your chest to the floor by a subtle retraction of your shoulder blades. All right, so, kind of just hanging out here. Sometimes we kind of like go the opposite way. So we want to kind of squeeze those shoulder blades together a little bit. And then imagine you've got a tennis ball underneath your chin. So a gentle tuck to the chin, which is going to lengthen out your spine here at the back of your neck. Kind of feel like something's tugging your head gently forward. Draw your belly button up toward your spine, pressing the tops of your feet down into your mat. So we should feel a lot of muscular engagement through your core here. And we're just going to hold, continue to breathe. Right, while all these muscles are engaged. So you should feel very solid, like if somebody came over to you and like kind of bumped into you with all of these muscles engaged and rooted down into the floor, you probably wouldn't go very far if they bumped into you. So now I'm just going to have you go ahead and relax everything and see the difference that if somebody came over and now you probably get a little bit of a sway. So let's go back one more time. We're going to tighten up all those muscles. Gentle bend in the elbow. Retract to the shoulder blade, kind of like proud bear moment there. Draw the belly button up. Feet pressed into your mat. Tuck that chin, lengthen that head. Draw the shoulders back away from your ears. Create some space. Nice and solid. And good. We're going to relax. Bring your feet in. Widen out your knees. Sit your hips all the way back down, and you'll walk your arms out into a child's pose. Drop your head all the way down onto the floor. So we'll take a few breaths here in child's pose. Inhale and exhale. Okay, so as we inhale, try to use your lungs to separate your shoulder blades across your upper back. And when you exhale, try to use your core, tighten it up and push your pelvis down over the heels. Inhale and exhale. Good. We'll take 2 more breaths just like that. Movement, micro movement with your breath. And good. We'll do 1 more. And on your exhale here, we'll come back up into your tabletop with your hands directly under your shoulders. Again, curl your toes underneath and just bend your hips back, stretching through the fascia on the bottom of your feet. And then we're going to come up and then we're going to scoot our thighs together, feet together, and then same thing. Toes are underneath and we're stretching out the fascia of the feet. This time you're going to drop your heels open, just kind of fan your feet to the outside, and then ankles come together, bring them all the way back. And then you're going to fan out to the side 1 more time. And then all the way back. All right, we're going to come up off the feet, undo your the top 2 feet there, and we'll take a seat right there on your feet. We'll come into hero pose, stacking your shoulders over your hips here. So if this is tough on your ankles or your knees, you can always take a yoga block and stick it under your hips to give yourself some more real estate there. In this posture, we're going to lift your rib cage up. Good, and if you're in that like in between, like you can almost get here, just sometimes gently lifting your rib cage up is all you need to take some of the pressure off of those joints here. So working to stack those shoulders over your hips, over the ankles with the rib cage up. We're going to take an inhale here with both arms up all the way overhead. And exhale your hands into your imaginary back pocket. I'm going to set my knees apart, hip distance apart, and use my hands right where I hit my glutes in those imaginary pockets and push forward. And opening up my hip flexors right here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then sort of look up towards the ceiling. But really, your head is up towards the ceiling because you've opened your chest and leaned back, not because you're cranking your neck back and your cervical vertebra. So it just kind of is a natural extension of the spine. You've just kind of altered that angle lower, not really up at the neck. Good, we're here squeezing those glutes for a nice round base. 3 and 2 and 1. Good, we'll come all the way back to neutral. And I'm going to set your weight into your left leg, pick up your right, and as slowly as you can, you're going to take this leg up and then bring it out into a runner's lunge. Wasn't super slow, but that was as slowly as I could. So, all right, we're going to come into that runner's lunge. You want to make sure that that knee is right underneath your ankle. Those hands are going to come to the SI joints with kind of fists that are going to just press you right through here. As you do that again, you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades, lift your chest, and your head's going to slightly lift. Maybe if you can find where like your ceiling meets the wall, so you're up, you're looking slightly up. Use your fists here to press through on that SI joint. So my right leg is forward and opening up on that left side here. And now I'm going to remove my hands from the back here. I'm going to take my right hand onto my right side. My left hand's going to reach up into the air. And I'm just going to open up that rib cage on the left side. Fingertips get nice and wide, spread out, reaching up towards the ceiling. I'm going to inhale up and exhale that all the way down across with a nice twist over my right thigh. As I'm here, I'm almost trying to like tuck my left hip underneath me, pressing it down toward my mat a little bit more. 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to push my right hand into my right thigh, press myself all the way back up to a neutral, and then again, engaging my core so low as I can. I'm going to try to lift this leg up and return it to neutral. Now we're going to take that series over to the other side. So weight's going to go down to my right leg. Left leg's going to come up, and I'm going to go as slow as I can to come out in front. Try to catch that balance if I can. Good. Knee is over my ankle here, 90 degrees, and I'm going to take both hands here and bring them right to my SI joints and press my hips forward. Okay. So sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit or stretch with this knee toward the back. So, sometimes we're kind of like here, and that's, we don't have a super long line. So if you want to step as far forward as you can to just kind of let this line go nice and long, and then use those hands to press down and forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift your head, lift your chin here. And as that's kind of opening up, for now I'm going to take that left hand right on the front thigh. Right hand is going to reach up into the air. Spread those 5 fingers out. Get a nice long line through my rib cage here. Inhale, and then I'm going to exhale over that left leg and kind of tuck that right hip down and under. So I'm getting like this nice stretch, almost like up across my hip bone there. I can get that rotation in just a little bit. 3, 2, and good. Push that left hand in. Coming back to that neutral position. Slow, bring that leg in. I know, again, I keep saying slow, and then I work through it, but that's as slow as I have today. Good. We'll bring those hands in here, curling the toes underneath, and you're going to lift your hips up into a downward facing dog. Now you guys walk your feet out as wide as you need to get your heels onto the floor. Spread your fingers out in front of you and see if you can line your ear up with your arm, right? So if I kind of go back and forth with my head, I can feel like ear hit my arm. So that's where my head posture wants to be. I'm just opening up the back of my leg here. And now send your attention to your tailbone. You want to try to lift the tailbone and send it up towards the ceiling. You might even want to press a little bit more into the floor to do that. Then as you do that, you're going to feel a little bit more of a stretch down the back of your leg. And just hang out there for another 3, 2, and 1. Good. You're going to kind of send your weight into your hands. Step your feet back onto your mat here. We're going to bend your right knee and just press that left heel down into the floor. And then we're going to pedal it out over to the other side. Left knee bends, right heel presses down. And again, we're going to switch it up. And last time, switch over to your other side. And good. Both heels are going to come down here. And then I'm going to have you guys walk your hands to the middle part of your mat, and then you just bring yourself lengthwise onto your mat so we come into a straddle here. But I want to focus on getting your back nice and flat. So if I go and show you the side view of this, I don't want you guys to be rounded out here. That's going to kind of hurt your low back. I want you to kind of get your back nice and flat. And if that's a struggle to get down to the ground, get one of those yoga blocks. Sometimes you even grab a foam roller and just kind of like, let me do that. I'll grab a foam roller. And, I can use my foam roller to kind of, maybe even on my forearms here so I can still have some support while I'm in forward flexion as I work that flexibility. So you guys can always do that. There. Good. All right. So let's see if we can now open the straddle up a little bit more now that we've settled in here. And be pressing into the inner edge of your foot. You don't want to, right now, sometimes we get like super stretched out on the sides of our feet. Sometimes if we have weak glutes, it winds up spraining our ankles because we get this rolling out. So let's get some work here, stretching out the inner part of your thigh, pressing onto the inner edge of your foot while you're here. We should be as far open as we can in the straddle. And now you're going to bend that right knee just a little bit. It's not going to bend a whole bunch because we're wide out in a straddle, but you're going to bend it and just press your hip over to the right side as much as you can for 3, 2, and 1. Now you push into that right foot to straighten the leg, and we take it over to the left side. So same thing, we're just going to bend that knee. Probably not going to go a whole bunch. Press your left hip over there for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Push that left foot into the floor here. And I'm going to have you walk your hands over, and now both feet will turn to the right side, line them up. Good. And then we're just, again, we're stretching out through this ligament here, over the front. And see if you can drop your head. Use your mat to push yourself down. Again, if you have yoga blocks on either side of this can be helpful. And just rounding down for 3, 2. And when staying here, lift your head to look at your foot and press the chest low for 3, 2, and 1. Good. We'll take a little bit of a release from the legs as you walk yourself back and now over to the left side. Toes get lined up here together. And the same thing, you're going to just drop your head down and holding it here. If you feel a nice big stretch right across the top of your foot, also your hamstring. Maybe you tuck your head down, maybe even the back of your neck. Good. And now we're going to just lift your head to look through your foot and press your chest down nice and low to the leg. 3, 2, and 1. Good. I'm going to have you bend this leg right here. Plant your hands. Sweep that left leg back. If you want to hold a plank here just to challenge yourself for 3 seconds, go right ahead. If not, you're going to just lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. And your belly here. I'll have you tense your left fingertips and extend your right arm all the way out to the side. So it's going to open up the chest a little bit here. So push the tented fingertips on that left hand. You're going to push into the floor. Lift your left leg up and over the right. And now we're just going to open that right shoulder. So it is underneath you. So you want to be gentle and slow with that. Okay, so while it's here, don't, kind of crush it. Don't roll too far. You're going to reach out with your fingertips here as far away from the midline of your body as you can. If you want to take this to be a little bit more, you can float this left hand up into the air. And 3, 2, and 1. We'll spiral that back down around, bend that left knee, roll yourself back onto your belly. And then I always just kind of do a little bit of rocking through my hips, just to let those lower back muscles kind of recalibrate a little bit. And then tense your right fingertip, extend your left arm out to the side. And now we're going to just pick that right leg up and over and open up that left shoulder here. So you get a nice good stretch across that hip. So get that shoulder underneath. And again, if you want a little bit more, you're going to float that right arm up toward your ceiling. For 3, and 2, and good. We'll pinwheel that all the way back down and around. Bend your right knee, rock back through center, and just a couple of back and forth through here. So you take both hands out on your belly here to your cactus. Tighten up your glutes so you're pressing your hip bones down into the floor just so that you're not crunching your lower back here. Your kind of hairline or top of your forehead is on your mat. And then just kind of see if you can relax your shoulders and get them away from your ears. Good. You're going to just turn your head over. You pick your head up and turn it over so that you might want to get your left temple on the floor, looking at your right elbow. From here, see if you can press down so you try to get that left ear on the floor. Opening things up, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to come back through the center here. And we take that same thing on over to the left side. So looking for that left elbow on that right temple, pressing down through the right ear, opening up, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We'll come right back through the center here. Get your hands right underneath your shoulders. And you can either push yourself back onto your knees, or if you want to curl your toes underneath to push yourself up into a high plank, you can go ahead and do that. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to drop your knees, turn yourself right over onto your glutes and so, as previously built. We're going to take that L posture again. Legs are out straight in front. You're going to move the fleshy part of the glutes out of the way so that you're up on top of your pelvis. Lift your rib, and we're going to send both arms up in the air. And again, try to line your arms up with your ears. And then we're going to plug the arms down to the shoulders so we're not shrugged up around the head. So arms are reaching up, but then we're also using our lats to pull them down, right? So we'll pull down here, give them a solid base, reach up, working to get a nice straight joint at the elbow. You can inhale, lift up that chest here, and exhale over your long leg, working to get the crown of your head down toward your kneecaps here. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. You'll walk yourself all the way back up here, and we're going to take your left leg, crossing it over your right. Lift up through your rib cage, holding on to your shin right here. You're going to press that chest forward to get a nice stretch through that piriformis. 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to take that back. Lift that left knee up, and we're going to give it a big hug with the right arm. Pull it up so my left foot kind of floating off the floor. I want to try to eliminate any space between my leg and my chest, and I'm just going to kind of rock back and forth to make a nice kind of stretch with mobility through that hip. All right, once we've done about 4, we're going to hold that right there. Bring yourself all the way back. We will undo that. Straighten out this leg. Readjust, get the fleshy part of the glutes out of the way. We're going to take that right foot over. And I need to readjust again. Good. We're going to hold on to that chin, lift that rib cage up here, and just pull yourself gently forward. 3, 2, and good. We're going to bring that right knee up, give it a big hug with the left leg. Try to get it right in the crease of that elbow there. And we just start that rocking nice and slow. To really just try to get that the chest right against that leg as you're going through there. And excellent. Good. After 4, we're going to undo that. Send both legs out. Again, I always kind of like readjust just because my pelvis tends to, I get tight hamstrings and my pelvis shifts under. So I always want to try to like walk myself forward. I'm going to inhale my arms all the way up and exhale over my long legs here. Hang out here. And while I'm down here, I'm going to take my right arm and I'm going to reach it outside of my left leg here. And I'm just going to kind of drop my right shoulder, add some rotation on my torso, swing my left arm back, and kind of open it up a little bit. So here I'm getting a nice stretch from my SI joint on the left side, but also all the way down through my straight leg there on the left. I'm reaching back here to open up my upper torso. 3, and 2, and good. I'm going to come all the way back down and walk my hands up my legs one more time. Inhale, lifting all the way up, and exhale over the long legs, drop the head. This time we take it to the other side. Left hand reaches outside the right. You feel that stretch through that SI joint. Just use that as a brace here. So I'm pushing that back into my leg. Add the rotation, drop my left shoulder, sweep back with my right hand. Palm faces open and away from me. Just gonna open that back. Get a little bit of the QL. All the good guys, all the good ones. Good. And 3, 2, and 1. Good. We come all the way back. Walk your hands all the way back here. I'm trying to face your guys' neck and stay where you are on your mat. We're going to go into cross legs here. So as you're when you cross your legs, what you want to do is try not to get your feet to impede your knees falling to the side. So we have to tuck your heels up under your shins. We're going to undo that. Again, adjust those the glutes there. Allow your knees to fall nice and free. We're going to start with your arms out to a T with your palms facing the ground. And we're going to lift up your rib cage here. So inhale all the way up. And then exhale, pull your shoulder blades together. So you're going to rotate your thumbs up toward the ceiling, palms are forward. Inhale, lift the ribs up. And exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then we're going to go one more time. Rotate palms to the ceiling. Lift the rib cage up. And squeeze together all the way in the back. Allow your hands to come all the way down, lifting up through your chest and reset. Let's go ahead and switch up. Whichever way you cross your legs, we're going to go the opposite way. To do both leg positions. Same thing, just let those knees drop all the way down. And so this time we're going to start with our cactus arms here. You're going to take a look out to that left elbow. If it's slightly kind of in front of your shoulder, might have a tight chest. So we want to work to open that up here. And then you'll notice if your shoulders are usually tight, you might be rotated down here. So we're going to rotate back to a neutral position and get that in line here. Good, we're going to inhale, lifting your ribs all the way up. And exhale, squeeze your shoulders together in the back. Good, you're going to extend your arms all the way up, kind of to a V or a Y overhead. Inhale, reach out as much as you can. And then exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades. Good, drop those arms all the way down, lifting the chest all the way up here. And then we'll come all the way back to neutral. We're going to just swing those legs out to the side. We're going to pass through our tabletop here. Curl your toes under. We're going to come to standing but just through our downward facing dog. Right foot to the right hand, left foot to the left hand. Drop your hips, hand to the thigh, hand to the thigh, tucking all the way under and rolling all the way up to standing. All right, we're going to inhale and exhale. Good, one more time, inhale. And exhale, good. We're going to just close out as we always do. Shoulder rolls all the way up, back, and down. And one more time, or two more times actually. Three, right? Three magic clicks of our ruby red slippers. And all right. Nicely done. Good work.